Hello, everybody. Suzanne Kellner-Zinck from Dunning Visions Hypnosis on the subject of recognizing when overwhelm is more than just stress. Feeling overwhelmed is not about just having a busy day. It's actually when your mind is overloaded with worry, self-doubt, and a sense of losing control. This mental clutter can impact your mood and your health if ignored. Recognizing the signs like constant fatigue, irritability, and avoidance is the first step in reclaiming your calm. However, we can also have physical manifestations of overwhelm, such as headaches, muscle tension, difficulty concentrating, and emotional exhaustion. It may lead to anxiety, indecision, and feeling stuck in negative loops. You may feel really weighed down by emotions and thoughts that even simple decisions feel impossible. You can even feel irritable and have tearfulness, restlessness, and a feeling of shutting down, emotionally speaking. Learning how to identify these symptoms and signals can prevent burnout and exhaustion. So, understand there's some stuff that you can do about this. The first thing is to acknowledge that you're feeling totally overwhelmed. The second thing that you can do is journal. I love journaling because when I journal, and that just means taking a pad of paper or notebook and writing without worrying about grammar or spelling or any of it, letting your subconscious mind just go off on whatever that subject is and just get it all out of your system. It's really cathartic and it really helps. And sometimes in the process, you can even get answers in terms of how to overcome the overwhelm because you'll come up with some solutions to whatever's overwhelming you, which is really great. Another thing that you can do is you can just take a walk. Get away from whatever the situation is that's overwhelming you. I know that when I have computer problems sometimes, and I am not a tech head at all, but I found that sometimes if I just take a walk for a little while and I come back, miraculously the computer is working. God only knows why. I don't care, just so it's working. Other times I come back and I remember similar situations that I had and what I had to do in order to fix it or what I needed to look up in order to find out how to fix it. So taking a walk and clearing your head, especially if you can do it out in nature, is a really lovely thing to do. Third thing, call a friend. Actually, one day I was feeling really overwhelmed. This is many, many moons ago now, and I still remember it like it was yesterday. And I can't remember what was overwhelming me at the time, but I called my best friend Richard. And he's the one who told me to go out and take a walk. And I thought he was crazy because he wasn't giving me any ideas on how to deal with the situation at hand. Maybe he didn't have any. Rare for him. He just told me to go out and take a walk. And when I came back, I did have the answer to the problem. I do recall it getting worked out pretty quickly after that. So clearing your head, it has a place in getting rid of overwhelm. If you're having headaches and other kinds of physiological problems because of the overwhelm, I would first get those checked out and make sure there's not a physiological reason for them. And if they're not physiological, I know that I've helped a few people that an acupuncturist friend of mine referred to me for hypnosis. And the reason that the overwhelm and just feeling like they just were stuck in a situation that they couldn't get into, these were women who both had young children, young meaning below the age of 5. Like one had a 5-year-old and two 2-year-olds at the time. Another one had a 3-year-old and a 1-year-old. And their parents just wanted to come over anytime they wanted to go see their grandkids, which is not good if you have really young kids because they're on a schedule. They need naps, they need playtime, and they need to eat when they need to eat. And, they have stuff that they need to do at a regimented time so that they are easy to deal with, hopefully. So what I ended up doing was helping both of them separately. They were two separate clients to first get rid of the feelings of overwhelm and feeling out of control in the situation with hypnotic technique. And then after that, I had them set some very serious boundaries with their parents, letting them know that they were not going to be able to see their grandkids if they showed up without calling first and making arrangements. And if that continued, they wouldn't be seeing them at all because they were disrespecting their needs. Actually, in one case, the one grandparent was constantly putting down her daughter in front of her grandkids, which is really horrific behavior. Sadly, it happens more often than you want to know. So that had to stop as well. So there's the reasons that we get these emotional and physiological symptoms coming along, and we have to have ways of dealing with it. Sometimes it's just a matter of realizing that you're in over your head on something, and maybe it's time for you to sort of back off, or maybe it's a matter that you don't want to do the thing that you started out doing. And I had this happen really during my nursing degree program, which I dropped out of because I hated nursing. I just didn't like it. I had a really hard time turning patients in the bed to make their beds when they couldn't move and things of this nature. I'm not a very big person, strong for my size, but not that big. And I'm not that coordinated, quite frankly. That's just a fact of my life. And I don't like taking directions for others. So that's a problem. My siblings laughed at me when I told them I was going to nursing for that particular reason, knowing who I am as a person as well as they do. But nonetheless, the nursing prerequisite courses did help me out a whole lot with my hypnosis clients because it does help to understand the physiology of the human body. It does help a whole lot to understand life cycle psychology, which is really about how people emotionally mature through the stages of life chronologically, which is really helpful when I'm working with my eating disorder clients and my sex addicts in particular, because people with full-blown addictions, they stop emotional growth when they are full-blown addicts. So I need to help them to match their emotions and their responses emotionally to their chronological age so they can fit in better with their peer group. And I also learned a lot about abnormal psychology. I knew some about it, practically speaking, because of my mom and having worked in, I don't know, did I work? Yeah, I guess I was probably working at the Gathering Place at the time that I was taking these courses during part of it. And I was seeing these folks all the time because a lot of the people who were at the Gathering Place, they were 19 and over, and they had what we'd call in psychology comorbidities, meaning they had more than one mental illness. Really practical to work in a place as you're studying this stuff. I remembered a lot better. And I also was working in elder care in their homes, actually, during another part of my nursing program. So I recall a lot of stuff that I learned working with elders and learning about the different chronic conditions that elders can have, like type 2 diabetes, heart disease, and that kind of stuff. All very helpful. I tell this to you because sometimes we don't know what we don't know, and a professional is the right place to go. You don't need to be stuck in it. You don't need to feel sorry for yourself. You don't have to feel overwhelmed. There's help available if you choose to reach out. And trust me, more often than not, if you reach out to your friends, they're more than willing to help you out. As long as you're not whining endlessly. No one wants to hear you whining. Just tell them, I'm feeling kind of overwhelmed. I have this thing that I'm dealing with. I don't know exactly what to do with it. Is it okay if I vent to you? That just means you just want to talk to them about it. Or you can ask them for their advice if you want their advice. Now, some friends are going to try to give you advice. And if you don't want their advice, let them know that you just want to vent, because they're not going to be able to read your mind. In my case, I was always happy to get any input, any advice, any suggestions that anyone might have to help me out, because I found them to be very helpful more often than not. So that is what I wanted to talk to you about regarding overwhelm and how to deal with it so it doesn't take you out when you least expect it either with it going into depression and anxiety issues, or worse, if it continues endlessly into chronic physical health conditions, because these things can happen over a period of time if we ignore our inner wisdom, which is what the overwhelm is there to let us know. We have something we need to deal with. So as always, I thank you for spending your time with me. Till next time. Bye-bye.